Hello, Spartans. I'm David Magida, and we're in North Lake Tahoe, the home of the last 5 World Championship events, and this year the host of the North American Championships presented by Yokohama. And I'm joined today by a very special guest, my good friend Dave Watson, Spartan head of sport, all the way from Abu Dhabi. Dave, it's great to have you back.
Dave, it's great to be here. This is so exciting. The premier OCR race in the nation this weekend. I'll tell you something about the course. 4,000 feet of elevation gain. That is the killer here. It's the steep uphills. It's about 1,200 meters. 13.6 mile course. That's about half a mile more than your standard half marathon. And then no water on this course. So no swim, Dave, no dunk wall. It'll be very much a race focused on the running and core obstacle components this weekend.
So as we break down the women's race, no Lindsay Webster here today opens the door for a variety of athletes. I'm looking at a couple, specifically Annie Dube, who's looking for that first elusive win, but also Rhea Coble, who's strong in the mountains, but has never fared well when she's hit the cold water. What else do you think about the women's race?
I actually think Emma Cook-Clarke is a very interesting person to watch this weekend. She's only raced once this season in Asheville, but showed a great performance there. So keep an eye on her. And then Alex Walker as well, I think, is a very good chance for a podium spot.
I think those are 2 excellent picks. And if Emma Cook-Clarke reaches peak performance where she's not failing obstacles, I think she's going to move into that upper echelon tier of athletes, joining Lindsay Webster, Nicole Miracle, making them very nervous down the road. We have an incredible race in store for you today, a ton of amazing athletes, an unbelievable course, and the North American Championship starts right now.
And the runners are off, and the question is who's going to take it out hot. In the old days, it was always Nicole Miracle. Perhaps it's one of her proteges from the OCR Dream Team, Emma Cook-Clarke. We know how fast she went out in Asheville, and we look for her to do that again today. Up this opening climb, she is right to the front in the white, Emma Cook-Clarke. 3rd position right now, that's Lauren Weeks. She's your High Rocks world champion and world record holder. And then about 5th position in the white, you can see Annie Dube. Annie's going to be lurking throughout this race. Her objective is to run steady. She's allowed racers like Emma Cook-Clarke to get ahead of her before and then worked solidly throughout that race to run them back down. Right behind her is Alex Walker. She's been steps behind Annie throughout the year, but on a course like this where an athlete can fatigue, anything can happen. Also look for Rhea Coble again. We mentioned her before. She loves these long, slow, grinding courses. She lives out in Colorado, does a ton of work on the mountains, but has been working on a lot of different elements of her training on the bike, on skis, finding different ways to train outside of just pure running, as opposed to an Emma Cook-Clarke who is really focusing almost exclusively on running. And now things are starting to really shake out. Look at that lead from Emma Cook-Clarke. Right behind her, way in the distance in the white again, Annie Dube, followed by Lauren Weeks, Rhea Coble. Now you're starting to see the class of the field. Just further down, you see that you have Alex Walker already being separated from. And we've talked about Cook-Clarke. If she can turn that corner, does she have the ability, because of how strong she is as a runner, as a climber, as an overall athlete, to really enter that upper echelon of racer in this sport, to challenge Lindsay Webster, to challenge Nicole Miracle when she's healthy? But the climb is clearly separating this entire women's field pretty significantly. And off in the distance, you can see that these runners still have a huge amount of climbing left before they reach the peak. And although the incline, the pitch here is not incredibly steep, it's significant enough because you're going to be hitting against it for 20, 25, 30 minutes at a time before you really start to peak. This gradual incline takes a toll. This earth here is fairly soft, forgiving, easy to run on comparatively, but they're going to start approaching some of the rockier, more undulating terrain as well, where they're going to have to switch to some power hiking in between some of these running sections. And up in this section here, it's also a little bit wet, so there's a little bit of mud in there too. Nothing that's going to slow you down too much, but again, it's just things that start to affect your rhythm. As Cook-Clarke switched to a little bit of a power hike briefly up ahead. And back to a run. And you can see, look at that smart, savvy move. Grab in the water, take the water where you can get it.
Yeah. What's your name?
Rhea.
Now, Rhea Coble's actually moved into second position, but Annie Dube looks comfortable. She looks like she's where she wants to be right now.
What's your name?
Annie.
Annie?
And believe it or not, these runners are only about 1.5 miles up this climb so far. Each one of these 3 leaders is clearly running at the pace that they want to be running at right now. Not a single one of them looks extremely labored, but Cook-Clarke is putting on an absolutely torrid pace to the top of this mountain. Now you're getting a little bit into that rockier, rougher terrain that we talked about before. It's a little bit harder to turn over around some of those hairpin turns. Sometimes it kicks up a little bit. And those men you're seeing, that's these women picking up the scraps of the men's field who started about 15 minutes in front of them. And already, only a couple miles into this climb, and they are passing some of the elite men. Over at the Z-Wall, basically neck and neck right now, Rhea Coble and Annie Dube. And it would be wise of the two of them to work together, push each other, help pace each other to try and limit the damage that Cook-Clarke can do to them right now as they continue to ascend up this mountain. What's cool to see is how the different types of terrain change, the different types of rock that they're climbing is changing. Now it's a little bit more of that like almost like shale rock that like falls apart underneath your feet. Completely different than what they were running on the way up the mountain to this point. Now they're starting to get basically to above the tree line. And Annie Dube starting to assert herself a little bit, stretching away from Rhea Coble just slightly.
And your woman's leader at the top of the first climb, that's Emma Cook-Clarke. Making her way into this opening climb of the bucket. Second place has arrived at the bucket carry. It's Annie Dube, but she's already over a minute behind Emma Cook-Clarke. She's got some work to do, but it's early. We've seen Emma Cook-Clarke go out hard early and then get caught. We've seen Annie be one of those people who's caught her. So she has to stay calm, keep pushing herself. There's a lot of race left.
Good job.
Third place, not unexpected, Rhea Coble right here in the mix. She's great at the climbs, she loves going long, and she knows with no water obstacle up here today, she's in for a good day for the rest of this race. But first, get through this bucket carry, and then of course the dreaded spear. Right now, Emma Cook-Clarke is absolutely destroying this race. And as she wraps up her bucket carry, there's not another woman in sight right now. The competition is Emma Cook-Clarke in first. Can she hit her spear and hold that first? Annie Dube trying to hold off Rhea Coble for second.
Now, over through Bender, the big challenge for Cook-Clarke is, of course, the spear throw here. Alex Walker's joined the party at the bucket carry along with Lauren Weeks.
Now coming into the spear throw, this is an absolutely huge moment for Emma Cook-Clarke because she has an opportunity to cement her position at the lead of this race. Otherwise, a miss here would mean she's in a dogfight the rest of the way after 30 burpees. It's a little bit windy up here. It's not the most ideal conditions, and we saw almost half of the lead men's field miss the spear throw. It created havoc in the men's race. A newer athlete to this race, has Emma Cook-Clarke been practicing her spear throws? And that's a miss. 30 burpees for Emma Cook-Clarke, and the door is now open. We're gonna have an incredible battle between 1, 2, 3 in this race.
You got the snores.
Annie Dube has arrived in second position. She's trying to just let that blood drain back out of her arms, stay relaxed. She knows a hit here on the spear gives her a chance to win this race. But a miss, she'll lose all that ground from Emma Cook-Clarke's miss. Emma has already finished her 30 burpees and she's back on the run. So Annie now knows she's got to go and find a spear that's going to work for her. Get a quick throw in there. Oh, that's a stick, just barely, by Annie Dube. That's as close as it gets, right on the edge. And now Rhea Coble, can she stay in the race? 30 burpees for Rhea Coble, but still in third position at the moment.
Pull it on the other side.
A miss from Lauren Weeks, but Alex Walker struck her spear. And Alex Walker has got her shot at running down Rhea Coble now. As Emma Cook-Clarke is now all the way over to Twister. And you can see there's already been some significant improvement in her obstacle technique. She's got the grip strength. We saw all those mistakes over in Asheville, but Annie Dube is making up ground right now over at Twister. They're going to come off this thing essentially side by side. And now we have ourselves a race.
Awesome, girls.
And you have to ask yourself, is Cook-Clarke prepared to throw down aggressive speed right now against Annie Dube, or is she going to be content to run with her? Annie has a huge advantage on actual obstacle proficiency, so Cook-Clarke is going to have to out-fitness her, outrun her throughout the rest of this race.
Nice.
And once again, you're seeing that obstacle proficiency, just those extra few seconds that Dube's able to take from Cook-Clarke. But these are a little bit different. These black ropes
Come on.
just take a little bit more time to transition if you're new to them. Whew. A close call from Emma Cook-Clarke, but look how quickly back up to speed. As Alex Walker sitting in third place, chasing hard. As we make it to the rope traverse, you can see once again how quickly Cook-Clarke is able to stretch out these little gaps on the runs. I mean, we didn't run far. We took a few seconds here or there, but again,
Yep.
Annie Dube's been making up time on her throughout these various obstacles. This is one of the ones that actually Cook-Clarke has done better on, the rope traverse right here. But the real test is going to come when we get to some of those other heavy carries.
Good job, guys. Yep.
And you saw that little swing back, the loss of momentum from Cook-Clarke over here on beater. She was able to recover from it, but she lost valuable time, probably 10 to 15 seconds.
Go, Annie!
And now a snag in the barbed wire. And these are all things that just come with being a little bit newer to the sport, being a tremendous athlete, but a little bit newer, and Annie, the experienced veteran, avoiding some of those mistakes that cost you a few seconds here and there. And looking very smooth on the obstacles as always, Alex Walker trying to get herself back into the race during this top of the mountain gauntlet. As your leader is now Annie Dube, but chasing hard behind Emma Cook-Clarke. It's a tall order to beat her down the backside of this mountain.
Yeah, you can stay on her. JP, you can stay with her.
Through the barbed wire crawl, that's Riverbend athlete Alex Walker trying to hold off a charge from Rhea Coble, who is just completing the rope traverse here. And now we're starting to descend a little bit. These athletes are going to charge towards the Sandbag Carry shortly. And again, look at the speed of Cook-Clarke.
I feel like we can work together on this. Yeah.
Yeah, nice one.
We got a battle on our hands right now because Emma Cook-Clarke and Annie Dube are coming into the Sandbag Carry, and they are separated by mere seconds. Right now, Dube smells blood in the water, and she is looking to make a big pass on this heavy carry. She's already out of the transition, taking the lead, and now these two are gonna battle the rest of the way. Only one big climb to go, lots of downhill, and lots of heavy carry. So is it gonna be Cook-Clarke, or is it gonna be the mountain goat? And this is where experience is gonna be a factor. You're gonna see the comfort level of Annie Dube really come into play, especially look at this technical, rocky, nasty terrain that they're going down with those heavy bags. They'll turn, they'll come up the other end of this half pipe, and you see right now Cook-Clarke has been fumbling with her bag over and over, trying to find that comfortable position. Where is she gonna hold it? Annie Dube is gonna assert her dominance and her experience over the next couple minutes on this carry. Third place, huge move, Alex Walker into the Sandbag Carry. Somewhere she's passed Rhea Coble, maybe when she was still doing burpees at the spear, but now Alex Walker is gonna assert herself. So strong on the obstacles, so good at the carries. She's not far out of first place right now, and she is closing. Another pass, this time Emma Cook-Clarke moving back into the lead. Annie Dube right behind her. Dube looks comfortable. She's not using a ton of energy. Cook-Clarke looks like she's driving hard with that forward lean. When they come out of here, there's an opportunity to open up and really let it rip on the run. Can they avoid the cramping? Can they get back to their rhythm? But again, just seconds separating these two.
Good job, Rhea. Let's go.
Thank you.
You're doing well. Keep pushing.
Up to the top and over the last of the climb with the sandbag, Emma Cook-Clarke, and right behind her, Annie Dube. We're in for a good one for the second half of this race. Only about 5 seconds separates them now. Who's got the legs when they come off this carry?
Good job.
Cook-Clarke is fueling once again, so we can see she's taking the time to do the little things for her body that she needs in order to maintain her energy levels and keep her legs for later in this race. She may be new to obstacle racing and Spartan race, but she's certainly not new to being an endurance racer and to giving her body the things it needs to thrive. But another pass by Annie Dube on an obstacle. And then the quick dismounts as well, those transitions in and out. She's making up a lot of time there. But again, Cook-Clarke with so much success on these runs. Another pass. These lead changes are constant throughout this race. Every run, Cook-Clarke puts herself back in the lead, and every obstacle it seems that Dube is able to claw some seconds back. Back on that loose rock, all that nasty stuff, easy to turn an ankle or bruise up a foot. But Cook-Clarke is home in the mountains. She's been a mountain runner. She's very accomplished in this type of racing, and you can see how smooth she is transitioning from rock to rock and along these twisty trails.
Thank you, thank you.
As Alex Walker also joining the descent. Still in third place, Alex Walker right now.
For you? Have a good day.
A little water down the back, a refill of the bladder. and then up and over the inverted wall. These small breaks are going to help significantly in the later parts of races that are this long. It's worth it to take a couple seconds if it might, on the back end, gain you a whole minute. Annie Dube doesn't really have that luxury today. She has to keep pushing hard. She has to make every second count. Same for Alex Walker here. She's got to keep driving, not just to try and catch second place, but also to hold off a charge from Rhea Coble. Rhea Coble is coming. We know her ability. There she is right there. We know her ability to descend and to grind out these longer races. And the question is, how far is that gap right now?
Keep pushing.
And this is the second of two major climbs in this race. Dube has switched to that power hike. Maybe you'll see a little bit of that on-off, maybe that 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off kind of technique, a little bit of Tabata style. That's going to be really effective for conquering one of these steeper, longer climbs later in the race. Let the legs recharge, change the muscles you're using.
Yeah.
You did it.
Yep.
And you know these athletes are tired when they're walking into the wall. Using that kick plate, Dube's up and over the 8-footer. Now this is a steep grind. This could be one of the steepest parts on the course. The steepest portion of this race is about 29% gradient. And when you're going to that hands on the knees power hike, it's just telling you, you're losing your running economy at something so steep. It's just helpful. Save energy. You have diminishing returns to keep running in those situations. So if it gets really steep, that hands on the knee technique, just drive those legs to extend. That hike can be so effective. And this is an obstacle right here, the stairway to Sparta, that has cost a lot of racers a lot of time. It's very difficult. It's a little bit slicker than it used to be. It's made of a different material, that slippery plastic. It's very hard to get your footing. But Cook-Clarke made good work of that. You could tell she's been practicing her rock climbing.
Nice.
She walked her feet laterally up that wall, locked in her hand position, locked in her shoulders, and cleared that thing very nicely. Totally different technique from Dube, who just purely muscled it. So smooth. Great strength there from Annie Dube, getting over that stairway so easily.
Right on your butt, Let's go.
But now she has a huge kick home. She's a bit tentative on this descent. You can see she's braking a lot. That's using a lot of quad, but also she's not moving down this descent with nearly the same speed that Emma Cook-Clarke did. And she's going to need to start to open up and really roll.
Yes.
And up and over the vertical cargo net, you can see improved technique on each of these obstacles from the last time we saw Cook-Clarke.
You got this. Let's go, let's go.
Yeah.
Just her running speed on display, so dominant when it comes to purely covering ground on these trails. Now we're seeing Annie Dube hit those runs the way we need her to. She's starting to lean in, open up that stride a bit more. But look at how smooth Cook-Clarke is. Very little braking in that run. She's really allowing the mountain to take her right down, going with gravity.
Come on, you got this.
Red and white, gentlemen, black and white. Let's go. Nice job.
And believe it or not, we are now back at the base of the mountain. And this is the last heavy carry of the race, the Sandbag Carry. It's been a long way back down.
You got this, you got this. No more carries after that.
Nice job. Red and white, let's go.
One last major opportunity for Dube to get herself back into this race. There's not a huge amount of running room left, but there's plenty of obstacles to go. Maybe not necessarily failable obstacles, but obstacles that she could eat into that lead that Cook-Clarke has.
Great job, Annie. Come on, go, go, go. Come get me now.
Good, let's go.
Some words of encouragement between the two.
Yeah, girl, nice.
And you can see some of those athletes in purple that are going by. Those are ultra racers that started about an hour and a half earlier and are on the first of 2 laps. With Cook-Clarke done with that heavy carry now, it's really just the obstacle gauntlet the rest of the way. Annie has a lot of work cut out for her now. She's got to be perfect through a lot of this to get herself back in this race.
Nice, well done.
8-foot box, a great place to start. But again, not a rookie anymore. Emma Cook-Clarke learning the little techniques to get through these things quicker. And she could smell that wind. You could see her pushing hard on these flatter runs as she enters pipe layer.
can. Now let's go. Let's go.
Rhea Coble coming into the carry right as Dube's coming out.
Come on. Woo! You got this. Go. Keep going. Good job. Yay.
Over on the helix obstacle, you have to watch out for a little bit of mud on that plexiglass and how risky that can be. But for the most part, this is just a question of how many seconds will this obstacle take. And you could see tremendous growth and acceleration from Cook-Clarke from where she was before. She's getting through these obstacles much cleaner, much smoother, much quicker. And that is trouble for the rest of the women's field. Emma Cook-Clarke is about to enter the village. A-frame cargo net for her, helix for Dube.
Stay focused, stay focused. Let's go, you got this.
It's all pavement the rest of the way from here. Cook-Clarke is going to open up and really start to roll.
Go, Annie.
We got eyes on Rhea Coble right now. The question is, where's Alex Walker? Oh, that was her right there, heading up. So Rhea Coble with a huge downhill charge in this race to put herself into third position. And a very good chance of keeping it because she's almost a full sandbag length ahead of Alex Walker. Using the knot at the bottom of that rope so she could stand through. Find the grip on that box. It's an obstacle that's tough for some of the shorter athletes just because you have to have such a long reach over the top.
That's it.
Emma Cook-Clarke making quick work. I love that tire flip. And now Olympus. Opting for the holes. It's much more slippery than it used to be. There's that different plastic that they use on it now as opposed to wood. And your legs are essentially useless on it.
Awesome. That's out. That's out.
That's it.
You got this.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go. You got this.
A lot of slipping. Now she's using rock climbing holds as well.
Yeah.
This is the race right here. And Cook-Clarke is through it, and you can see the relief on her face as she approaches the rope climb and the Hercules, her final two obstacles of this race.
Come on. Almost there.
Emma Cook-Clarke trying to claim the North American Championships, and we said if she ran a solid race, solid on the obstacles, she had a chance to join the upper echelon of athletes in this sport. And here she is, just a full few pulls away from her first championship in the sport of obstacle racing. One more pull. Lowering down with control, and ladies and gentlemen, your North American champion, Emma Cook-Clarke, has taken the day, and she will cross the line victorious.
Still in second with a couple failable obstacles left. Annie Dube just needs to close this thing out.
Go, Annie! There you go. Come on, Annie! There you go. All right. Go, Annie!
Using just the holes, but the crossover technique, that arm over arms. Annie Dube made quick work of that one, and now a rope climb into her hoist, and second place is hers in the North American Championships. Always that same expression on her face, always so calm, so stoic. Annie Dube is moments away from second place today.
You got it. Take a breath. You got it. Nice. Nice, Annie. Woo. Nice, Annie. Go, Annie. Yeah. Nice and easy. Nice. Watch out for your leg. Go, Annie. Woo. Nice. Well done.
Annie Dube, second place in the North American Championships. What a phenomenal effort. A great battle between two champions.
And Rhea Coble rounding things out here. Can she hold it all together? Can she hold off Alex Walker?
Come on, Rhea.
As she walks into Olympus, you can tell Rhea understands the significance of completing this obstacle. And there's a lot on the line. Third place, when you're being chased, going for the chains. Three athletes, three completely different techniques. Chains and holes for Rhea Coble. Just holes for Annie Dube, and holes and rock climbing grips for Emma Cook-Clarke.
Good job, Rhea. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah.
Woo! Yeah, Rhea.
And Rhea Coble is moments away from claiming third place in the North American Championships. One deep breath. And here she goes. It's been a long day of massive efforts from each of these athletes, and right now, you're seeing the last bit of juice that Rhea Coble has left. And there you have it. Third place is going to go to Rhea Coble, an ecstatic Rhea Coble.
Your third place women's finisher, Rhea Coble, has managed to sneak back in there and take third in your North American Championships. Rhea Coble ecstatic with that finish.
Alex Walker closing things out today. Fourth place. Certainly a great showing here.
Nice job.
All right, just got one of our fourth ultra racers coming to transition.
You always want to be on the podium if you can, but certainly there's nothing to be disappointed with for Alex Walker right here. Fourth place. An amazing showing from her.
We're here with your women's North American champion, Emma Cook-Clarke. Am I right? This is only your third Spartan race?
Yeah.
Ever?
Okay.
You're joining the legends of the sport right now. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just really excited that I came and that this year went through with everything going on this year with fires and COVID and la-di-da. It's pretty special to be here, and with Nicole supporting us so much and you guys putting on such an incredible venue, it's I feel fortunate to be here. So it was the least I could do to put out a hard effort and to run with Annie leapfrogging and all these other super strong women behind. It was really special.
Second place in the North American Championships, your third second place finish in major races this season. And I mean, take us through this. Obviously, you must want that win, but it must feel so good to perform at such a high level in such a huge race.
Yeah, I'm super happy with how it went. I ran clean, first of all, can't complain, and I felt really in control the whole time. I kind of messed up my toe coming up that second climb, but otherwise felt really solid and just tried to chase Emma down the whole way. We worked together through that gauntlet up top, which was really fun.
Well, thank you all so much for tuning in for this absolutely incredible race here at the North American Championships. But don't forget, we will see you all in Telluride. I'm David Magida for Spartan Race. We'll see you then.